Welcome to The Hustle. My name is Tamika. I'm your host, and today we're going to talk about working online. There are a lot of opportunities online as far as work. There isn't a shortage in work, there really isn't a recession. It's just a huge transition from a physical office to a virtual environment. A few websites I'm going to mention today. We're going to talk about Upwork, Fiverr, and Amazon Turk. So if you just want to have a job and you just want to work, what you can do is go to upwork.com. It's upwork.com to sort of put your millionaire hopes on pause. This isn't 2003. You're not going to make millions of dollars online. Upwork is pretty much just a staffing agency where you list yourself and people pay you. The thing about working online, which is unfortunate for Americans, is that now you're competing internationally. And you may really need to make $70,000 a year, $100,000 a year, and it's not going to happen on Upwork. To start, it can happen later, but to start, you're not going to make that much. You will be lucky to pull out $25, $50, $100 if you have a little bit of experience to offer. And I say that because once you're competing internationally, you're competing with persons who speak good American English, probably better than you, that live in Southeast Asia, that live in Africa, that live in India. Not only do they speak American English, they're good at their job, they're persistent, and they have a great work ethic, and they can work for less than you. Your rent in the United States is definitely higher than their rent in India. Your utilities are higher, your food is higher, everything about your lifestyle in America is higher than most of the people on Upwork. So when you sign up for Upwork, don't think you're going to make $1,000,000. Don't even think you're going to make $200 in a day. Really, it's $25, $50, $100. That's really what it is. But what you should be thinking about is getting onto Upwork so that you can get the online experience. So let's say you have a contract. It pays little to nothing as far as American standards, but with Upwork, you can stack contracts. So let's say you have a contract, it pays like $3 an hour, and that's generally what they pay, $3 to $5 an hour, below American minimum wage. But you can get 5 of those contracts, 10 of those contracts, 20 of those contracts, and when you're overworked or you have too much work, you can then subcontract that extra work. So you just went from someone who was working for less than minimum wage to an international supervisor with your own virtual office. That's Upwork. So you have to go in, look around, get to know the environment, see which contracts you can and can't get, then build those contracts, build them up, and make yourself the boss. That's Upwork. You're not going to make money at the beginning. It's $25, $50, $100. Like, it's just really not that much money. I think the days of going online and getting work that pays well passed. They passed, such as the good salaries that used to exist in America, because now pretty much anyone in the world can go online and they can work for anyone at any time, 24 hours a day. There's no longer a border between people with the internet. There's no longer any barriers. All right, so that's Upwork. Think $25, $50, $100. Get as many contracts as you can and subcontract. You can do customer service as far as calling customers, answering phone calls, filling out paperwork, reviewing paperwork, everything that someone did in the office, a secretary, an account manager, a merchandising clerk in the store, because now people need to merchandise their websites, like make sure the pictures are right or make sure the listing is correct. All of that is on Upwork. It's a job listing board for online jobs. All right. Next website we're going to talk about is Fiverr. A lot of people talk about Fiverr because mostly what it is writing. It's mostly writing. So if you have good writing skills or okay writing skills, you can sit around and write articles all day for $5, $25. And similar to Upwork, you can stack contracts. It's less than minimum wage, still less than minimum wage because you're only getting paid $5, and who knows how long this article can take. But you can get as many contracts as you like, as many contracts as you can handle. So if you're excellent at writing, or if you can write fast, or if you have a team of writers like you went on Upwork and you built a team of writers who are writing for $1 or $2, this is another a way to subcontract that XX work. So you take your $5 contract. I hate to say that. Take your $5 contract. Try to get to know the environment. Try to get to know the game. And then take as many contracts as you can get your hand on. And then you subcontract that work and you make yourself an international supervisor. That's how you have to work the online game. Get as much as you can and then subcontract it. So that's 5. We're mostly writing articles, the top 10 tips, the best travel tips, the blog, the best of lists. No one writes their own content anymore. There isn't a writer going to their website, writing their blog, writing their content, writing their top 10 list, writing their recipes. That does not exist. They pay someone to do it and then they post it on their website as their own. Fiverr. All right. Last but not least, we're going to talk about Amazon Turkey. And Amazon Turkey is like, it even killed me to do it. I tried it and it was a killer. It pays you pennies to make sure that images are correct, wording is correct, and like the small details on websites are correct. So if you ever look at an Amazon listing, the pictures need to be right, the words need to be right, the listing needs to meet a certain standard. And that's what they subcontract people to do, is to go in there and look at the details of it. Just look at the details. Is this right? Is that right? They do have a test to make sure that you're not a robot, because they don't want someone to build a robot or an auto machine that can go in there and beat the system and make millions of pennies a minute. But it pays people pennies to make sure things are right. And the unfortunate part about the internet is that anyone can work anywhere at any time for any amount of money. The privilege that used to exist, I want to say going into office and getting that $70,000 salary, getting that $100,000 salary, it doesn't exist for most people anymore. A few people still have it. They're very fortunate, but a lot of people don't have it anymore. And no one's on a street corner holding up a sign telling you to go to Upwork, telling you to get this experience, telling you to build your contract. So a lot of people think there's a recession, think there's no work. No, there's plenty of work. There's plenty of money. 60 to 70% of it just went online, but no one's telling anybody. Like, I can't explain it. There's so much work, too much work online, and no one's telling anyone. The pay went down. It went down drastically because you're competing with people in international markets. But as soon as you have enough experience to build up yourself, to build up your knowledge base as far as building websites, as far as correcting websites, as far as writing, as far as customer service, as soon as you educate yourself for a new career and a new job industry, you'll be okay. Welcome to The Hustle.